RecTech with a Q.com, RecTeq.com. Smart grill technology built by grillers for grillers. You can't go wrong. Even heat. Do it from your phone. So I get analytics. I'm not anti-analytics. I prefer manalytics, which is analytics, but use the testosterone of great pro athletes. They're not stats. They're not numbers. They're men. Lean on their physicality. Lean on their emotion. I like analytics, which is doses of analytics, but alpha males in sports. And I'll give you an example. The NBA. Oh, three-point shooting. Who dominated last year's finals? Kawhi Leonard, mid-range specialist. Who dominated this year's finals? Jimmy Butler, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. None of them are three-point specialists. Jimmy Butler doesn't like to take them. Guys that are physical, they attack you, they go at you, they defend you, they get in your face. Analytically, where's James Harden when it matters? The bottom line is the NBA may be a three-point league, but to me, it's a defend the basket league and a situational offense league. And with 5 minutes to go, I'll take a Kawhi, a Jimmy Butler, a LeBron James, and an Anthony Davis over a James Harden who can, fire up threes. Analytics wanted the Minnesota Vikings to go for it last night. 4th and 2, 26-21, put it away. Analytics say you go for it. But if you don't get it, then Russell Wilson gets the ball at home. He's great in the rain, drives the field, and beats you. Right here. Wet ball, wet field. Lot bad can happen. Analytics will tell you you go for it and you seal the game. But if you kick a field goal, instead of 26-21, it's 29-21, and Russell Wilson not only has to score a touchdown, but a two-point conversion, and at worst it goes to overtime, where I've totally outplayed the Seahawks. Because they did outplay the Seahawks. They had 40 minutes time of possession, 450 yards. They outplayed Seattle. Completely outplayed them. And analytics, and I like aggressive play calling, and I don't question play calls. I don't with coaching. I never do that. But you have a wet field, a wet ball, a running back can slip, he can lose the ball, and then you give it to Russell Wilson. And if I'm facing, analytics tell you to go for it. If I'm facing Mahomes or Russell Wilson, I am not going for it there. I am getting the points. I'm forcing Russell Wilson or Mahomes to go down, score a touchdown, then get a two-point conversion, because this is Russell Wilson. So he runs for 17 yards, and you can just feel the air coming out of the Vikings' defensive balloon. And then he goes up the left sideline. At this moment, you and I are both saying, oh, the game's over. What, you've never seen this before? He's the best closer in the sport. I get analytics, except when I'm facing Russell Wilson or Patrick Mahomes. Give me points. I want to lead by 8. Even for Russell Wilson, two-point conversions are under 50%. It really is the hardest play in the NFL. A congested red zone. It's hard for everybody. Russell tried at the end of the game. They couldn't get it. Two-point conversions are brutal for everybody, especially late in the game. You're exhausted. You've emptied your playbook. I totally disagree. Mike Zimmer after defended it, and I always hear this. We didn't come here to tie. You came there to win, and analytically, leading by 8 would have at minimum gotten you to overtime in a game in which you controlled it. A game in which Russell Wilson, until the last drive, didn't even play well, and you get about 2 of those a year when Russell's really not playing very well. Here's Mike Zimmer.
We came here to win, and so I'm not going to second-guess any of that stuff. So it's just we didn't get it done. It was about a half a yard. If we got the half a yard, we win the game. So I was trying to win it. I told him in the headset, we didn't come here for this. Let's go win it.
Wet field, wet ball, Russell Wilson, I'm getting the points. Joy Taylor with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat fell short of their goal of winning an NBA title this year. Congrats to the Los Angeles Lakers, by the way, an incredible season.
Yeah.
Could you hear some celebrations last night?
First of all, I heard 2 booms at about 9:15, and I don't live in a big party town, but I think there were major fireworks going off all over Los Angeles. Then I went online because it wasn't asleep yet. I went online. And downtown LA, like Figueroa, downtown was just crazy town.
Yeah, downtown LA was crazy. I could hear the fireworks and people were.
Where you live?
Yeah, I'm not in a part of town either, but all of LA was freaking out last night, and rightfully so. But Jimmy Butler said he's more determined than ever to deliver on his promise of bringing a championship back to Miami.
I told them that I would win them one, and I didn't hold up my end of the bargain, so that means I got to do it next year. I told Pat, I told Coach Pat, I told Coach Bo, I'm here to win one. This is where I belong. This is what makes me smile. This is what makes me happy. I wish I could have done it for the city. I wish I could have done it for my teammates, for the organization. But I'm still glad that it happened.
Jimmy Butler, I think, cemented his NBA legacy with his performance in these finals.
I think we said this ad nauseum. I've never seen an NBA player who had a brand, and it was fair. It's like, boy, he struggles to get along. He moved out of here, he moved out of there, he moved out of Philadelphia, and I was like, talented dude, but I've seen this act in the NBA a million times. Great dude, doesn't fit. Total team leader. I thought yesterday, and you could tell late in the first quarter, I'm like, oh, Jimmy's done. Like, Jimmy's got nothing left.
Well, I mean, if he looked exhausted at the end of Game 5, he could barely walk when he was done.
Yeah.
With the media. I forget who tweeted it out, but like there's a video of him. He can barely get off of the stage. He played 33 minutes in Game 1, 45 in 2 and 3, 43 and 4, 47 in Game 5, and 45 last night.
Remember years ago when I used to defend LeBron and say, folks, you can't ask guys to play 44 a night in the playoffs. So people go, oh, I thought he's the chosen one. You saw Jimmy Butler, a young athlete, was shot last night. He was done. He didn't. And by the way, there's no flying now in this bubble. You cannot ask these guys to play 45 minutes. Hey, guard LeBron on one end,
right.
drop 40 on the other.
Yeah, those are hard 45 minutes. It's not like he's out there with Bam and Goran every game. Like that was really. Once Bam and Goran went out, it really felt like it was not going to be a competitive series. So I'm completely comfortable with them going 6 with the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah.
And Lakers were incredible all season, and a lot of people didn't pick them to be there.
I didn't.
Us included. I thought it would be the Clippers. So it really was, this is LA. Hollywood writes amazing stories.
Yeah,
and this
do.
was a really just Hollywood season for the Lakers.
In my life, I've never seen a championship team that did not have a third dependable player in my whole life.
I mean, to overcome the Kobe tragedy at the beginning of the season, the bubble, which was an unprecedented situation, everything that was going on with the social unrest in this country, and to be at the forefront of that and the face of that, with LeBron James being the face of the league, the players not playing in games and like having to come together for meetings like that. What they've gone through in the NBA, and to have the success of that bubble is, I mean, there's nothing been like it in the history of sports. And that's no knock on any of the other bubbles who have also been incredibly successful, but the NBA was the spotlight of all kinds of criticism, and still is, and they managed to pull all of it off.
Not a single positive test. That is unbelievable. Not a single positive test in the NBA. I remember when the bubble started, we were all saying, and I thought we were realistic and I thought we were fair. We were like, these guys, these are 26-year-old men. There's going to be a lot of side stuff going on. Not a single positive test. Not one.
It's
unbelievable.
It's remarkable. And the NHL had an incredible bubble. MLS,
they
WNBA, all did amazing work. Like, whatever they're doing, obviously I understand it's a controlled situation. You can't compare it to the rest of society.
Yeah.
But they figured out how to do it, and congrats, because it was absolutely incredible. So the Falcons lost 23-16 to the Panthers to start 0-5 this season, and the team finally decided to make some big changes. Atlanta has fired head coach Dan Quinn and GM Thomas Dimitroff.
And I wonder how long. I know Matt Ryan's good, but he made a throw yesterday in the end zone, and I'm watching this league change and becoming more dynamic. If you get a new coach, and I know it sounds crazy, I sound out of my mind, but you start looking around football right now, and I'm watching what's winning games. The new coach and GM may not be all in on Matt Ryan either. And I know it sounds nuts, but they are not a consistent winning franchise. And the best quarterbacks in this league, the Russell Wilsons and Rodgers, they win their division. They win. Atlanta's an inconsistent operation, and Matt Ryan has to own a lot of that.
And this league moves fast now. However impatient the NFL was before, it has exploded because of the availability of quarterbacks. Like, that used to be it. Like, all right, well, like, we're not going to be able to get a quarterback in free agency. That's done.
Listen,
that's entirely possible.
Matt Ryan made a throw in the end zone yesterday, and I sat there and I thought to myself, he's not Phillip Rivers, but there are some of the same issues. Arm strength, the inability to move, never make special plays. It's like needs everything perfect to succeed. I think Matt's good, but Matt Stafford's good. I'm about over the inconsistency right about now.
Well, it just felt like they never recovered from the Super Bowl situation. Yeah, well, you know, you have to run these decisions by me.
I'm an idiot.
Okay? But unfortunately, they did move on from it. I don't like firing coaches mid-season. I don't understand the point of it unless it's a toxic situation. I understand, like, sometimes you want to appease the fans, and it just feels like you just have to make a move just to do something. But, like, where does this leave you? So now you have an interim coach for the rest of the season, so there's no more development that's going to happen. You're not going to hire someone else mid-season. So what does this really do? I don't see the value in it other than appeasing fans of firing a coach mid-season unless it is a completely toxic situation. It just doesn't make sense to me. Finally, Alex Smith made his NFL return nearly 2 years after his devastating leg injury.
Nervous wreck.
He entered the game against the Rams with 2 minutes left in the second quarter.
And got hit a bunch.
Kyle Allen got hurt. Everyone got hit a bunch. They gave up 8 sacks in that game. 4 to Aaron Donald.
I was a nervous wreck watching this game. And he kept getting
6 times.
By Aaron Donald, who, by the way, Aaron Donald is so much better than the second best player in the league at his position. I mean, like, Mahomes is great, but there are nights Russell Wilson's better. Aaron Donald is so much better than the second best interior defensive lineman in the last 10 years in the league. There's nothing like him in the entire league. You can't block. He's literally taking 322-pound guards and throwing them.
It's crazy. Well, after the game, Alex Smith said it felt good to be back out there and take a few hits.
It was great. It was great to be out there. I've worked, I think the feeling, the range of emotions, the good and the bad, is why I fought so hard to come back. I think sometimes you can take it for granted, and certainly being away from it for a couple of years, I've missed it. It was nice to know that you're fine and going out there, and it was nice to kind of knock the cobwebs off, so to speak.
Wasn't a Dwayne Haskins issue, I'll tell you that. That O-line is
That seems like it's an O-line issue.
Oh, my God, it was. And the Rams, beyond Aaron Donald, do not have a consistent pass rush. So don't. This is not the 70 Steelers. Like, the Rams, outside of Darnold, struggled to get to the quarterback, except yesterday. They looked. I mean, it was. We can say all we want about Dwayne Haskins, but everybody's under duress there.
They gave up 8 sacks.
It's incredible. It used to be like a season high in the NFL. It's a weekly thing.
Of all the ways that Alex Smith could come back after that surgery, he comes back to a game where they give up 8 sacks and 6 of them are on him. It's wild. Anyway, Ron Rivera said Allen will be the starter going forward if he's healthy, so we will see Kyle Allen back out there. But congrats to Alex Smith. He's had a long, hard road back.
You could also see by the plays Washington was running, they didn't trust the O-line because everything was a dump-off. Like, you could tell their play calling was
get
the ball out of the quarterback's hands. Joey with the news.
Well, that's the news.